Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a list on ranking all 5 cases in the first Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game. Now, as you know, I've been replaying, well, not replaying because it's my first time playing it, but I have been playing through the Ace Attorney series of late, and not only am I going to be reviewing all the games, I'm going to be ranking all the cases in each game. So today I'm going to be uploading 3 videos because I finished Justice for All yesterday and wrote my list today on that. So yeah, let's get into it. So at number 5, I'm putting the first case in the game, the first turnabout. The first turnabout is an alright case, but the reason it goes low to the bottom of the list is because it is the first case. It's very tutorial-like, but the case is fun and it's exciting. We'll go to number 4 now. Number 4 is going to be Turnabout Sisters. Turnabout Sisters is the second case in the game, and it's enjoyable. The way that you get the villain to own up to the crime is nice, and I really like some of the things in the case. With Red White, he's an alright villain. I don't really like him as a villain that much, and that's why Turnabout Sisters will be put down at number 4. Now, those 2 cases were alright cases. Now we're going to be talking about the 3 cases that are actually really interesting in this game. At number 3, I'm putting Rise from the Ashes. Rise from the Ashes is pretty good. It's the longest case in the game and the 5th case. Now, if you don't know much about Phoenix Wright, in the first game there were originally only 4 cases in the GBA version, but on the DS version they added a 5th case called Rise from the Ashes. There are a couple of reasons. This case would have been number 2 for me, but there's a couple reasons why it gets put down. The first reason is because the story that happens in this case gets thrown out the window. Since the first 3 games had already been made before this happened, this interferes with the story of the second game, especially Miles Edgeworth's story, which can really just ruin it. Because people might not know it was added and may be really confused in the second game. But the case is really fun. The villain is a good villain in my opinion. Like all the turnabouts make sense. The fingerprinting and the videotaping, Emma Sky. Also, another reason is my FA isn't in this, but it's a very alright case, and I'll say that. So that's why it gets number 3. At number 2, I am putting Turnabout Samurai. Turnabout Samurai I was really enjoying. When I first did the investigation, I really thought I wasn't going to enjoy it. But then again, every single case whenever I start the first investigation, I always feel like I'm not going to enjoy the case because I just feel like I have no evidence. But as you build up, every single case becomes fun in their own way. Turnabout Samurai has some really interesting turnabouts and some really interesting witnesses, especially Miss Oldbag, who does appear in later games and I'll be talking about that later when I rank all of the Justice for All cases. But she's a really good witness. Cody is another really cool witness, and his turnabout is really cool in how the murder actually happened in a completely different place than the court actually fought, and they had been fighting that for over a day and a half. So yeah, it's really fun in my opinion, this case. Especially when you figure out, spoilers by the way, especially when you figure out just when Jack Hammer had accidentally injured that man 5 years ago and the same thing happened. You just get that sense of relief, and it's just a really fun case. Now, if you've played Phoenix, and that's why it earns the number 2 spot. Now, if you've played Phoenix Wright, you know what my number 1 is for this game. It's Turnabout Goodbyes. Turnabout Goodbyes is just a really good case. It is not the longest in the series, as that goes to a case called Rise from the Ashes, which I've already said is alright. But one thing I will say about this case is that it is the best case in the first game. It is really interesting, the defendant being Miles Edgeworth. You learn more about Edgeworth, more about Phoenix, more about this class trial that they did heaps of years ago. You find out at the end, Larry's the one that stole that money. Why? The characters are also really good and appear in later games, like Lotta Hart, who actually appears twice in the next game, but we will talk about that later. Overall, this case is just really fun. The turnabouts make a lot of sense on how it's, related to this DL6 incident, and just as soon as you get Von Karma to do his breakdown, it is easily one of the best parts of Phoenix, of the series. It is just such a relief. It was a really fun case, testifying the parrot. It was super interesting, and that is why it is my favorite case in the Phoenix Wright game. Now, this game is a really good game. I recommend playing the first game, even if you don't get into the series. But overall, those are the main 5 cases. Those are the 5 cases in the game, and I've ranked them all. So I'll see you guys next time for the next video. Bye, guys.